Cool. All right.
All right, take it away, Mama.
Will do. I'm going to start now. All right, just 2 seconds here. Sorry, I'm getting my shit together. Make sure that I have my thing charged up. All right, good. I don't want any issues. Perfect. All right, I'm going to start. Guys, I'm so excited. I get so fired up talking about, well, obviously you guys know me. I get super fired up talking about this business. But what I'm so passionate about is sales. I love sales. I think that anybody can become good at sales because sales is all about building relationships and building connections with other people. It is literally that simple. It's not more complicated than that. And anybody can become good at sales. It's all in your head. It's all psychological. So I'm going to kind of take you on the journey of a buyer and talk a little bit about sales psychology. And a little bit about why I believe that every single person can totally slay in the sales biz. So I will start. I'm going to share my PowerPoint here. Okay. All right. Okay, can everyone see this? Let me know because I can't see the chat. Good? Thumbs up?
Good.
Thank you. All right, so this is just the cover page, Sales 101, here we go. Okay, so first thing I wanna do is take you on the journey of a buyer. Basically, this is otherwise known as a sales funnel. You may or may not have seen it before, but I kind of wanted to jazz it up. This right here is the funnel without the funnel, but this is the theoretical journey of the buyer. And this is what it takes for a buyer to actually purchase a good or a service. So the very first thing that you see here is awareness, and none of these steps can be taken without the other. So people need to, first of all, be aware. They need to know that you exist in order to become interested. So they need awareness, then you need interest. In order to become interested, they need that awareness. In order to make a decision, they need to be interested. And in order to take action, obviously, they need to have made a decision. And you need to be the person that's driving them to take that action and holding their hand basically the entire way. So you want them to not only purchase, but then become a loyal customer. So what's really important with awareness and what we always talk about is just that consistency. Like, you have to be showing up. In order for people to be aware that you exist, they need to see you on all different platforms. This can be in person. You need to be talking about your business. You need to be talking about your service. This is why we say, like, don't just show up with Monet on a flash sale. Don't just show up once a week. It's better to literally show up for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, every single day consistently, than it is to show up for 2 hours on a Sunday or just over a flash sale, just suddenly be super relevant, because it also waters down the process. Like, when it comes to sales, you really need to build that trust with your customer. So they need to know you exist on all the days, not just the days that there are sales, right? People purchase transformation, not features and benefits. So I really want to focus on the fact that I do see this a lot, where there are a lot of people that share like the, ingredients of Monet or what it does, all, and like get really, really specific about the products and get really, really zone in so much on products. People don't really care about that. And you have to really think about yourself. Like, what do you think of when you're purchasing something? And when it comes to sales, what drives you to purchase? Usually you're purchasing based on emotion. You're not usually purchasing and diving that deep. You don't really care like what specific cotton your shirt is made from, or like all of the different fabrics that pull your sweater together and make it a sweater. You don't really care about all of that. So why is it with Monet or with anything else that we feel the need to post, pages or a whole bunch of facts about the product? A lot of times, I mean, I would be perfectly honest with you, your buyer is just going to, your potential buyer is just going to scroll past those posts, especially on a platform like Instagram, where you're not the only person that you're seeing. We're all like in our own worlds, and we all think that when we share content, like everyone is seeing it. But you are up against all the other potential reels that they're watching and all of the other fun, entertaining things out there. So sitting there and listing off a whole bunch of features and benefits is not what's going to make people tick. It's not what's going to make people buy. What you want to sell is a transformation. And with a transformation, you have to be sharing your stories, which is at the bottom here. So you really have to talk about how the product is going to make them feel and be really driven by the outcome of your buyer. What is their life going to look like if they join this business? How is this business going to transform their life? How is the product going to make them feel? How is it going to change their actual skin texture, tone? Not exactly the how, going back to the features and benefits, but like it's more the what. Wow, your skin is going to be glowing. You are going to feel so much more confident. You are going to feel so amazing when you use these products. Those are the things that people want to feel when they use something. They want to feel that confidence. They want to get out of the shower and have a fresh blowout. That is what sells. When people hear those words like, wow, every time you get out of the shower, your hair is going to feel like you just went to the salon. That is a feeling, right? And people can put themselves into that space of like, oh yeah, I know exactly what it feels like to leave the salon and have that fresh blowout. Put them into that seat and make sure that they know and can feel that emotion behind what you're saying, that these products are incredible. This is why, but you don't have to go so far into the details. You'll notice like in commercials and different things, like a deodorant commercial, secret deodorant or whatever, it's like strong and beautiful like me, or whatever whatever the slogan might be. These are the things, these are the words. So strong, beautiful, like those are the words obviously that we are really drawn to. So I really encourage you to go and check out different commercials and pay attention to what they are actually saying, especially when they're, geared toward women or geared toward men. There are specific words that are used that really capture our attention. And that's what sales is all about. It's just capturing people's attention and then holding their attention through that entire funnel, through that entire process. And sharing your story is, so for example, Bailey and I were talking yesterday just about Krista Parney, Salvage Soul on Instagram. So she is so good at sharing her story. She talks about how she had her business doing renos and those barn doors and everything, and how she was worn out. Her marriage was in a rough place and like life wasn't good, and just all these issues that she was having. And she paints this picture for you so that you are taken on this journey, and a lot of people can relate to different things about her story. So really dig deep, because she's not sharing her story for nothing. She's selling her story. So you're selling your transformation and you're selling your story, especially on Instagram, where influencer marketing is so common, and it's usually done, when it's done really, really well, it's subtle. Your buyer is not really even supposed to know that they are buying from you, if that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. But for example, I'll give you an example of what I did in the last couple of weeks. So I just ordered my Peloton, and there's a Peloton community. So I decided to start adding people on Instagram through the Peloton hashtag so that I can start making connections. And actually, I wasn't even thinking about Monet. I was just thinking I would really like to align with some people who help like keep me motivated and excited. And I met this woman who lives in Washington. And so for the last week or week and a half, we've been chatting back and forth. She has a couple kids. She's Russian. She has those cool, like, naked cats. Anyways, I promise this is going somewhere. But I really just like built a relationship with her over the last week and a half, just talking every day. She's been encouraging me with my workouts. I've been encouraging her with hers. Have not once talked to her about Monet, have not once brought it up. But because she's building that trust with me, and because we've literally been voice noting back and forth, talking about other things, she feels like there's no ulterior motive with me. And she feels like she's part of my story. I'm a part of hers. Like, we can kind of talk to one another. We could be real with one another. So today she actually asked me for samples. And she's like, tell me about this product. And she happens to work in a salon, which I had no idea until she told me that today, which is so wild. You just never know how your story is impacting someone else. And that's why it's so important to share that other value as well. When it comes to sales and when it comes specifically to social media, it's so important to share other things about your journey, because I can guarantee you, if I had just been talking Monet all the time, she would feel like, oh God, this is just another sales girl. But instead, we've been talking about Lululemon, like where she buys her yoga clothes, the Peloton app, all these different things. We were talking about her cats. We talked about our kids. We talked about our different things, because her husband got her a G-Wagon for Christmas, which is obviously sweet. So we were talking about her car, and it's so cool. It had nothing to do with Monet. And that is what got her interested. So make sure you are sharing and providing other things of value. And if you don't have anything right now, like, dig into something that you can create. You know, some people have a hard time. They're like, I don't know what my interests are. I don't know. I didn't have Peloton 2 weeks ago, and now I do. And all of a sudden I've opened myself to this whole community that has untapped potential. So get really creative. And that's back to what Ali and Vanessa were talking about last week. Like, you always have opportunities to grow your community, even though right now we're at home, even though, you know, we're basically stuck in this virtual space. But that's not going to be forever. So cannot wait to be in person. Okay, so now you have caught their attention. You have eyes on your page, or they've reached out and they're asking you questions about Monet. This is where a lot of people fuck it up. I'll just say it like it is. This is where a lot of people struggle, because the transaction or the conversation can go something like this. Hey, Teresa, I noticed that you're selling a product. I've been following you for a couple of weeks or whatever. I would love to hear more about it. So I'll give you an example of what not to do. So the worst thing that I could do is say, hey, Brenda, I'll just use the name Brenda as an example. Hey, Brenda, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked. Monet is amazing. We have such amazing hair care, skincare, a full wellness line. I absolutely love these products, and you will absolutely love them too. They are amazing. And you just start product dumping, just dump info. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, there's this VIP program, we have blah, 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 we have blah, blah, blah. And all you're doing is talking about you and the product and the business and all of the benefits and blah, 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 blah. And not once have you asked that person, hi, Brenda, are you more interested in the product or the business? Or what, not even that, like, what is interesting you in what I'm talking about, or opening that conversation. So it's now about Brenda. It's not about you, and it's not about Monet. So here's what you should be doing. Connect, connect, connect. So this is what the whole theme of this is. This is what sales is just connecting with people. Get them on the phone. If you can't get them on the phone, send voice notes. So if someone messages you exactly that message, say, hey, I would love to chat. Do you have time? Do you have 15 minutes right now? Or if it can't be right then, often what I do is I'll actually see a little message pop up in my Instagram, but you know how like I won't actually open it up if it says, hey, tell me about it, if I can see that. So I will go in and answer when I know that I'm available for 15 or 10 minutes or something to hop on the phone quickly with them. So I will try to get them on the phone. And that's when you can have a conversation about it. Over the phone is literally the best way to go. It's because they can't just hang up. They can't just ghost you in the middle of a conversation. Whereas in the DMs, they can, even if you're sending voice notes. But if you can't get them on the phone, get them into voice notes, or sorry, get them in the DM and send them a voice note. Do not send them a message in text form. That is the worst thing that you can do, because that feels extremely impersonal. They can't tell the tone of your voice. It doesn't build trust. When they can hear your voice, there's something about a voice note that really builds trust with them, because it's also saying like, I stand by my business, I stand by my product, I take pride. I think that there's something so much more personal about a voice note. Ask them about them and just listen, because 9 times out of 10, they are going to tell you what their intention is behind reaching out. And if you are thinking that they want the product and they were thinking business, and you start talking about Monet and all the products and blah, 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 and they're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have a job right now, I don't have money, like I'm looking for another source of income, then you've just A, wasted your breath, and B, you've info dumped on them. And then you just made it about you instead of making it about them and their pain points. And then the final thing is follow up. So following up is where the magic happens. And so often that is where things fall through the cracks. So if your follow-up game is weak, you are probably losing so many potential customers. And yes, you will in Monet, you will in any other kind of sales business. You will have people that just inquire. Like I have had some people inquire 10 times and still have not purchased. And they always click like, send me samples and all of that. But the magic is really in the follow-up. So make sure you are following up. If they reach out and they are interested in the product and then they ghost you in that conversation, that's fine. But jot it down. If you have a notepad or whatever, or in your phone, write down, okay, Sandy, okay, I'm gonna write her name down and I'm gonna follow up on a flash sale, or I'm going to follow up in the next couple of weeks. If there isn't a flash sale that pertains to her, or you could even ask, you know what, there's usually a couple flash sales a month. Would you like me to reach out if there's a good one that I think would be great for you? Or, always follow up. The thing is that if you don't follow up, that buyer could potentially go to somebody else. And I see that happen all the time. So these are what not to do. So stop doing this. So stop talking about price before showing value. If you are just on your stories and you start talking about the VIP program when you're sharing about our amazing program in your stories, talk about how it's equivalent to Netflix, a Netflix membership, or talk about how it's similar to, Crave, Netflix, any of those, or any other membership that they might have, that a lot of people have, or Amazon Prime. But don't start saying like, okay, to become a VIP, all it costs is $110 and blah, 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 blah. That is going to lose them 100%, well, maybe not 100% of the time, but you cannot talk about price before showing people the value of the product, because price is relative. So actually I saw last week someone commented in Allie's video, or when Allie and Vanessa were sharing, saying that people are cheap, that people are so cheap. It's like, no, that's not true. People are actually not cheap, but if they don't understand what they're buying, It's very hard to convince someone that they should spend $110 on shampoo and conditioner. Think about that for a second and think about spending $110 on shampoo and conditioner, because that's what they're seeing. That's the only experience prior to Monat that they have ever had, and they have not tried the product yet. So they're thinking they're just getting like another, and even if they've tried, especially if they've tried a salon quality, a salon grade product, they're thinking, oh, this is just another salon grade product, even though we all know, because we're the insiders, we know that it's so much more amazing than that. Your job is to focus on that. What is so much more amazing about Monat? What makes Monat so great? This is a luxury hair care brand. Don't cheapen it by just talking about price first. The next is info dumping, which I've already touched on, which is just you overloading someone with information. If they start asking you about the VIP program, that is not a time to take a pre-done VIP thing and just send it to them. Once again, go in the voice notes. What I actually do is, I don't know if you guys can see me. What I actually do is I will take a story on my Instagram of the back office. I'll ask them about their hair. I'll ask them all the questions first, obviously. And then I will build a little cart for them. But instead of just sending it to them by email, I send it to them in the DMs on Instagram in a story. And I explain exactly what the VIP thing entails so that they can actually have that visual in front of them while I'm explaining it with my voice, building that trust with them. So it's not just like, okay, I'll make a cart for you and send it to you and just hope that you buy, because that is just not going to work. It's going to work with some people, but it won't work for everybody. This is a surefire way that you're literally holding that person's hand all the way to the end. And I make sure, and I follow up and make sure that my customer has clicked submit and that they've made that purchase. You don't just go, oh yeah, I had someone interested. Like I hear this a lot, or I had someone interested, but I haven't heard from them all day. It's like, why? You need to get in and have that conversation with that person. Okay, cold messaging. I say this all the time. We all say it all the time. Stop cold messaging. Don't cold message. I'm pretty sure everyone in here gets that and doesn't do that, but it has to be said. There's a very big difference between sending a message and cold messaging. You can still reach out if it's coming from a place of, if it's coming from the heart. I have reached out to people before where I reach out and I just say to them and I give them a genuine compliment and I say, hey, Ali, I think you would be so good at this business because you kill it as a manager of the yoga studio. You are just so kind. You have such a positive, amazing energy about you. And I just think you would be so good at this. That is much better than you saying, hey, Ali, I know I haven't seen you since the beginning of COVID last year, but I was wondering if you would be interested in joining my team. If you've ever thought about it, please let me know. Like those are two very, very different things. One, first of all, is in a voice note and she can hear my voice. She can sense that I'm genuine. She can sense also that I'm confident in what my offer is. The second one is just could have been copy pasted and it just doesn't feel like she doesn't know my intention behind that. It's kind of like when you're sending text messages back and forth. Like this happens even with my husband when he's at work and something can go amiss or you can get the wrong impression from the way someone speaks in a text, right? Like, ooh, that seemed edgy when it wasn't, right? We can misread text so easily and the context can get lost. So you don't want things to get lost in translation with a potential. Talking about yourself, back to that, talking about yourself constantly. You want to be focusing on your potential always. And then the follow-up. There you go. Did you know 2% of sales, these are just some fun facts, 2% of sales are made on the first contact, only 2%. 3% on the second, 5% on the third, 10% on the fourth, and 80% on the 5th to 12th. And this is why that exposure is so important. That exposure is literally everything. People need to be exposed to the exact same thing. And that's why I always say, like, it's great to have diverse content, but sometimes we can be too diverse. I think it's better to just keep it simple and like choose 5 products you like and consistently share those, consistently talk about those, consistently show those results, consistently share the story about these products and how they're going to, not just how they change your hair, but how they're going to make someone else feel, how they're going to change their hair, and really focus on that. Continue to go, because if only 2% of sales are made on the first contact, then you can't come to us and say, hey, I got a no today. And if I say to you, well, has that person ever reached out to you before? Have you ever spoken to this person before? No, they reached out. They weren't interested this time. Like, yeah, they have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, potentially 12 more exposures to go before they're a yes. So you have to keep staying consistent. I know I'm jumbling up my words a little bit, but hopefully I'm getting the message across. Speaking of green, I need to take a sip of my greens. I didn't drink them this morning and catching up now, but my mouth is dry. Okay, what do you do? So I really want you to come up with an elevator pitch that describes your business and invites conversation. So I wrote this out in my phone so that I could give you an example of what not to do. So hang on here. So here's an example of an elevator pitch that I wouldn't necessarily go with. So you could say, I'm a market partner. So someone asks you, Becky's like, what do you do? Or this is someone who in the real world, I know that right now that's not really happening, but it will be, I promise. You say, I'm a market partner for Monet, or I sell shampoo. Okay. First of all, a lot of people know what Monet is nowadays. So you're not really giving them anything to go on, and they're not even really able to ask any questions about what you do. It's not that exciting sounding. It sounds very much like you're not passionate. So for me, I've chosen my elevator pitch, and mine is, I'm the director of a luxury beauty and wellness line. Wow, okay, so all of a sudden I go from I'm a market partner for Monet to I'm the director of a luxury wellness and beauty line. That is a huge shift, and that is an opener that can spark a conversation. Someone can say, wow, which company are you with? Or wow, like that sounds amazing. What exactly do you do in your work? What does a director of a company like that do? Or a mentor, or whatever, however you want to say it. Really come up with something that describes what you do from your perspective, not from their perspective, from your perspective, because you're the one who's passionate about it. They don't know about it yet. It's your job to show that passion to them so that they can be like, whoa, okay, she's like really into whatever she does. And she seems excited about it. She seems happy about it. And that really opens up that conversation for more. I had something else written here. Yeah, just really try to spark curiosity with people, which leads us into confidence. So it's so important to be confident in the business. And I know in the very beginning, it's hard because sometimes it's even hard from the self-development standpoint and mindset and all that. That's why we always stress mindset, because if you haven't done any self-development before, or you haven't done the work to be confident yet, how are you supposed to be confident in anything else? But if you are not 100% confident or sold on your business or product, then how do you expect anybody else to be? Like, they are only going to be sold on this product and this business if they feel like you are. And trust me, they can tell. Like people can tell when you love something, people can tell when you're passionate. That is probably the message that I get most, especially from people who, my family, friends, different people who have watched me grow over the last few years, is they always say, oh my gosh, I've seen your transformation. And it's not the hair they talk about, it's not anything else. They always talk about how much I've grown in my confidence and the way I speak and all of that. That's the biggest shift that I've had. So really focus on that self-development, because that's going to put you in a place where you're going to attract those people in just by nature of you being that confident and knowing, just knowing where you're going. When you have a vision and a clear vision in your mind, and you've painted that picture for yourself, even if it's a 5-year plan with Monat, even if it's a 10-year plan with Monat, really lay that out for yourself. And like we've said before, share that long-term vision, share the short-term goals, but really share that vision. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. Because when you can say that with true confidence and you can believe it within your core, because I know that's not easy for everybody, but once you can believe it, other people will believe it too. And then you can take them on that journey, and they're not going to want to miss that boat, especially potential market partners. When they see you passionate about something, they're going to be like, girl, Kylie, I want to join your team. The way you're talking about this, it just seems so exciting, so amazing. You're talking about where you're going, and I do not want to miss this boat. Think about, would you buy from you? Would you join your team? Every single time you put out a piece of content or you do something, think about, would I buy from me right now? Am I showing up in a way that is alluring to somebody from the outside, to somebody watching? Or am I just going on and talking about the product? Am I just going on and talking about the business again? Because there's a huge difference. And every time that I put something out there, I think about that. I think, would I want to join my team? Would I want to buy from me? And I try to revert back to how I felt in the very beginning of my business, which is actually sometimes really hard to do once you've been in it a while. But really think about that, because that's what matters. People are not buying products, they're buying you. When you go on Instagram or on any other platform, I know I always use Instagram, but if you go on any platform and you are following somebody, like, I don't know if you guys follow Alexa Jean Brown. I love her, but if you're following her and she's recommending things, like, you're more likely to buy from someone like that, who you actually just love to follow their journey. You just, everything they do, you're like, wow, their family is so cool. Like, they do this, they do that. That's so awesome. They're amazing. Like, and then she recommends Kleenex, and next day you're out there buying Kleenex because Alexa Jean Brown said Kleenex is great, you know? So people are buying you, not Monat and not this business. They're not, a lot of people out there aren't just looking for a network marketing opportunity. You are the person that has to show them what's possible. And that is it for my slideshow. Ooh, how long did I talk for? Holy crap. Wow. Okay. That was actually long. Oh my goodness. All right. Hi. Oh my gosh. I hope that was helpful and informative. And I'm going to read some comments and see if anyone has questions, but please ask questions. Hey. Just gonna scroll through here. Sorry, give me a second. Oh yeah, the G-Wagon. I know, that girl's so cool. I'm so glad. I'm hoping she's gonna be a market partner someday. She saw some of our community stuff and was like, this chick lives in Washington, which is super cool. She's in the States. But now I'm like, this girl's gonna join my team. I'm putting that out there in the universe. I am putting that out there. But she saw, I posted a video of our get together back in the summer at Bailey's place, the dinner. And she was like, oh, I'm gonna totally just come in on your next party and crash your next party. I was like, this girl's so cool. Voice notes. Sorry guys, I know this is gonna be kind of boring if there's any questions at the end here. Oh, so Jasmine, you don't like getting voice notes.
No, I actually hate them. And like, I feel bad saying that because my team does voice notes all the time, but it's just with the kids running around, like it's really hard for me to take the time to like find headphones, plug in my headphones and hear what's actually going on. So sometimes for me, like it's just, personally, it's not a great like immediate thing for me because then I'm like, oh, and I have to like hunt down my headphones and find some quiet space. So it's just more of a pain for me than reading. But I get like, you don't want to vomit on people. So I try to do them, but like, because I don't like them and I struggle to listen, it's not the best for me, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think the majority of people would prefer to get a voice note though. Like for me personally, I prefer getting a voice note because for the same reason that you don't like it. Like I can't read something when I've got my toddler around. Like I just send me a voice note. I'll listen while I'm dealing with all this stuff in the background. It's so funny how we're all so different. Yes, I would 100% reach out by voice note if I'm initiating the conversation. Absolutely. If I would reach out and start with a compliment, and exactly like I said with using Allie as the example. What happens when they follow up and they still ghost you? That is not on you. That is on them. And if you have somebody that you're following up with who's ghosting you, if they're watching your stories still, they're still interested. So keep on posting, but gear your content toward that person. And when I say content, I mean just like share a story, face to camera, not slides. Like content to me is face to camera. There's a 95% conversion rate with sales with face to camera. 95% higher than a post of a picture of shampoo and conditioner and telling people what the price is or whatever. Yeah, you can follow up with people who reached out and they'll still ghost you. It happens to me all the time. There's that, literally that happens to everybody. So don't worry, that's on them. 100% on them, not on you. And a lot of times we can take that and internalize it, and then we go, oh, we start having that downward spiral of negative talk to ourselves, like, oh, that was a no, that person ghosted me. It's like when we're dating, if you're dating, well, I'm not dating anymore, I'm married, but if you're dating and you get ghosted, it's such a shit feeling. I have actually been there and it sucks. It's like, oh God, what did I do? And you start getting really down on yourself. Okay, guys, it happens. It happens in sales too, except for you're less emotionally invested, hopefully. And it's like, move on, on to the next, on to the better. Okay, here we go. Oh, Plum Plus membership at Chapters. Don't even get me started on that. Worst. Okay. Oh yeah, and the thing is with Netflix and Amazon, these are monthly, not once in a lifetime. So highlight that when you're sharing about the difference between the two. Once again, face to camera. You don't need to do like a slide of Netflix and then a slide of Monet. No, face to camera. Explain. I have a Netflix membership. Like that's such a quick story. It's like, hey guys, do you have a Netflix membership? I have one. It costs me this much a month. Monet is actually very similar to Netflix. Like that's your story right there. You just say, except for it's a one-time fee to become a member to get your shampoo shipped to you, and it's not on auto shipment. Boom, done, simple. Like it's not more complicated than that. That's how you got me. Yes, Allie, except for I think it was more in person. Okay. Jess, what did you mean when you say, what would I say if I'm not yet director? Oh, sorry. Yeah. You mean my elevator pitch? That's where I really want you guys to dig in and get creative, because I didn't actually think about that from the market partner, but I would say like, I work for a luxury wellness line. I wouldn't use the word sell, but I would say I work for a luxury wellness line. I work for a luxury beauty and wellness line. That's what I would say. That's probably, people don't know what director means. Kind of sounds fancy, but you could say I'm a mentor for that, or I partner with a wellness line, like a market partner. There you go. I partner with a beauty and wellness line and use the word luxury, because then people know with the word luxury or premium, you know it's a higher price point already. You're going to weed out the cheap a-holes just by saying luxury. I'm sorry, but I buy like Lululemon leggings. And I love these comparisons too. I saw someone's story today, and one of you girls on this call right now, I know, and it was saying for the same price as a night out for dinner, like there was no like, I sound like a valley girl, but for the same cost of a dinner out right now, you can get your skincare and hair care. Like, that's such a great example. You're telling them exactly what they would have done, what they can do. No one's going out for dinner right now. And I know that people are probably a little bit more scared with their money and whatever, but don't be putting that out there. Like, I have noticed there's still sales. People are still buying. So if you have it in your head, like, oh, COVID, people have less money, that's the narrative that you're feeding yourself. Like, I 100% believe in that law of attraction manifestation. Instead, turn that narrative to people actually want their shampoo and conditioner delivered right to their door right now. That's what they actually want, because they don't want to have to go out to a grocery store or to a store and go buy their shampoo and conditioners. They'd rather stay home and stay safe and get things delivered to their door. Boom, done. Change that psychology. Flip the switch on yourself, because once you start thinking those negative things, that's what you're putting out there. That's what you're fueling, and that's the energy that is just contagious and can continue on that downward.
Can I add something quick?
Please do.
Do you mind?
I do not.
Okay. You're like, yeah, I do mind. I'm gonna cuss you out.
No, it's good because I can read while you.
I know. I'm like, I'm here reading things because I did. There's two things, and now I have a freaking like brain fart. Someone mentioned samples. If you're new, sorry, I didn't think I was even going to come on here and talk today, but if you're new, what I love to do with my samples is reach out to my closest friends, okay, your dream team, let's say, and I just say, hey, I partnered with this new company. I have a shit ton of samples. I want your feedback. I want to know how they work on your hair. That's it. You're not asking for a sale. You're just saying, I want your feedback. I value your feedback. They're actually going to give it to you and probably use the samples. And you know what? Maybe they'll all like it. Maybe a few do. So I think if you're new, get those samples out that way. And with the flex ship, I saw someone commented about flex ship. I just let them know that they get another 2 flex ships. Not like, you don't ever say, and Teresa will tell you it's wordplay. Don't ever say you have to place 2 other flex ships. It tells them in the steps when they cash out their cart now that like 2 additional flex ships, you're going to switch the wordplay and say, and with Monet, you get an additional 2 flex ships with free product and free shipping that you get to use at any point that you pick.
In your lifetime, like lifetime. It's not this year. It's not next month. It's not next year. It's like in your lifetime, really. It's so simple. Was that it? Do you want to keep going?
If you want me to, I can help you with all the questions. I don't mind.
Well, Natasha is asking, do I connect with new followers? Okay, so yes, I do, but exactly like the example I gave you with Marina, who's the girl that I just met online from Washington, the Peloton girl. I focus on one person at a time now, because that one person could be my rock star. That one person could be my whole business or a big chunk of my business. And so I focus less on quantity, and I focus more on quality. And real genuine connections. I actually did not think of her for the business. I didn't really it's always kind of in the back of my mind, but that's not the reason that I went into the Peloton hashtag and started hashtagging that. That was just because I bought a Peloton and I wanted to learn about it. But if I make those connections by nature of hashtag following that or whatever, that's fantastic. But really try to connect with real people, try to, if you're going to use hashtags and you're going to reach out to people, and find them in places where people are looking for self-development or already open to self-development. So a great place to try to make connections with people is like Rachel Hollis's Instagram page, and go into her comments and go look up, you can go into all of her posts and look at her different comments and choose someone in there who maybe puts a comment in. Because if they're following Rachel Hollis, guess what? They're probably working on their self-development. And you only want self-developing bitches up in your team. That's it.
It's true, guys. I do the same thing. I go to people's comments all the time. And then if you want to see if they're already posting, if they're not private, it will have the red circle and you can actually see how often they're posting and all that type of jazz.
And then go interact with them, go talk to them, go, like, not just like, hey, I like your sweater, and it be disingenuous. Like, I only go and comment on someone really if I think I like their sweater, if I like their sweater. That's the only, I don't do the fake bullshit anymore, because it's just like, it's a waste of time.
I actually had someone slide into my DMs today. It's a team dynamics consultant. I haven't replied back yet. Okay. She has 6,500 people. So she's obviously trying to build her Instagram. Okay. And I put a funny picture of Nash in a box, and she said, "Hey lady, this is cracking me up. Does your kid actually sleep in there? LOL." I know, just because of her title, that she wants to connect with me because she wants, did you get one from her too?
Yeah, look, I got one from her too.
See,
hey lady, what kind of dogs do you have? They're seriously so precious.
And then another clappy doodle. Right? Yeah. See, like, this girl is networking her Monet girls because she knows what is up. Did you too, Kaylee? And the message is genuine. Like, I don't know who's doing it for her. Oh my God, she's creeping all of us. Let's all turn on her. No, okay, join Monet. But yeah, she's obviously figuring out a hashtag we're all using. Look, she just messaged all of us, and she did nail it. Like, she went and looked at her profile and saw that Britt had dogs. I'm sure she said something to Kaylee about friggin' supplements and whoever else she slid into the DMs with. But, did you see the one Sarah Hill posted the other day where it was like, this girl said, "Hey, your hair's nice. Do you know what Monet is?" And she replied, "What?" with a laughing face, because she is Monet. Like, girl, you didn't even check my profile. So
I've had people in my question box ask me if I'm interested in learning about Monet. I'm like, okay, you clearly don't follow me. Sure, tell me about it. There's a question. How do you handle the question, does it make your hair fall out during the interest stage? This is like the most simple answer of all time. I know so many, first of all, here, how many people are on this call? 128 people. I know 128 people off the top of my head who have had nothing but amazing results with Monet. I have an entire team full of people. I know so many people. So you just say, I know so many people who've had such amazing results with Monet. I know that there are reviews on the internet, but you can't believe everything you see on the internet. Like, I don't even entertain this question with people. I always empower a potential buyer though, and I'll say to them, like, if they're actually coming from a place of genuine concern, not just like judgment of trying to tell me something that they think I am unaware of, I will just say, if you are concerned that your hair will fall out, please don't purchase from me. Because then that's like that reverse psychology. Then they're like, what the fuck? Wasn't expecting that.
And it's true, guys. You want like a quality VIP. The worst is knowing that someone's going to sign up, and we all have one, and you're just like, why didn't you sign up with Karen or someone else? Like, you're just like, it's not worth the headache. Okay, there's tons of people that come and go. So yeah, it's true. And also what Teresa said, if you squash it, I practice it like your elevator pitch, because you're going to get that question in this business. I still get it, not as much, because people know I will squash that shit. I don't entertain it unless someone is actually like, we're shooting the shit and I'm asking some questions and they bring it up and they want the whole thing. But I find if you're just confident in that, just like you're like, I'm partnered with Monet, like, practice that. So that way, yeah, practice it. So when it comes to you, it's just like a reflex. Just be confident in it. And you know what? I love that. Like there was 150 people on here, so we actually know 150 people. But I
Yeah.
really love that analogy too.
And I love that, Kaylee. Just humor it and say, girl, look at my hair. You know the answer. Like, you know the answer to this question. Why are you coming to me with that question? Come on. Do you think I would share a product that I thought would A, make your hair fall out, but B, make my hair fall out? Hell no. Like, why? Why would you are coming to the wrong person? That's just someone trying to take you down because they've read some stupid thing on the internet, or they are trying to feed that fear. Don't go there. Like, just it's not even worth your time. And then bye, Bailey. And then oh gosh, I was gonna say something. Oh, I was doing a training for another team, and I don't know if I've said this here before, but I definitely said it to one of my more intimate team calls, or on one of my intimate team calls. When you're in the first year of your business, your first 2 years, this is an opportunity to treat it. It's like school. It's exactly like school. It's like you're in university or college. You are not going to be an expert overnight. If you apply yourself, I promise you, if you apply yourself and you treat this like school and you study and you still start messy and take messy action 100%, because you don't need to be perfect in this business, and that's what's amazing. But just improve every day and be consistent. It's like, you're not going to get a law degree if you don't go to law school first, right? You're not going to get to the goods. You're not going to get your doctorate if you don't do med school first. But you have to go to school. This is the first couple of years, like the school of Monet. That's it. If you want to hit SED someday and become a millionaire, which is where we're going, that's where we're going. That's the vision that you should be going for. You need to know that in your heart of hearts, and know I'm going there, and treat it like, okay, I'm actually going to school. I'm going to university for SED. The fuck does that mean? I don't know. I'm just making this up. But seriously, that's how I've always looked at it. I've always looked at it as, if I learn this business inside and out, and this was, I think this shift that I had was when I went to Monations with Allie. Her and I saw a lady talking on stage about how she made a 5-year plan and said, if I fail after 5 years, then at least I gave it 5 good years and I really dug in and I tried. So give yourself that time. Give yourself 5 years. Make a 2 or 3 year, 4 year plan, or 5 years, and say, okay, after 5 years, I'll quit. But for the next 5 years, I'm going to be very consistent. I'm going to give it all I have. I'm going to learn the ins and outs. I'm going to do the do and show up. I promise you, we will have a lot of STDs up in this bitch. So that is that, but also really just having that confidence and believing in yourself, because I hear so many people say like, yeah, I want to be SED, but I have this like little bit of skepticism that it won't happen. It's not going to happen. I'm here to tell you today, if you believe that it's not going to happen, it is not going to happen. So you better work on that mindset. Go get that book. What is it? Oh my gosh.
The Yellow One by Jen Sincero. You're a badass.
I know. Yeah, you're a badass at making money. You're a badass at making money. Also, you're a badass, but you're a badass.
I can't believe I remembered that name. Because I think we've already, like, I don't know.
Honestly, life-changing. Yes. Thank you, Britt. That book is so good because it's going to help you shift your beliefs around money. If you are stuck in this place, in this place where you still think that you can't have more, you can't have that, you're not 100% sure, that means that you're creating a plan B. And if you've got a plan B, then I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Monet has to be the plan if you want to get to SED. You can have your other stuff. You can still be working your 9 to 5 and working toward that goal. I'm not saying quit everything and go plan A. I'm just saying don't have that like what if in the back of your mind. Because then you're going to stay in that bottom percentage of people who just don't succeed in it. Please don't do that to our team, because our team is bomb, and we are showing up because we know that all of you can do this 100%. That's it. Anything to add? Anyone want to add anything? All right, Bailey, you good?
Oh no, I'm good. That was so good. I hope that helped everybody. And I think it's actually going to be the perfect lead into our next one, which is all about VIP systems. So now you guys can like intertwine both and you will be rocking this year. So
Yes.
be sure to catch that one. Thank you so much. And we will upload it like always. And it's always hashtag hot topics under its masterclass. So if anyone didn't make it on your team, just tag them in the post. It will be there.
Yeah, if it's not there tonight, I'll make sure it's there by tomorrow before noon. Should be there tonight.
Thank you. And I love
Thank
you.
Love you all. Love you, Bailey. Mwah. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Have a great
girls.
night.